Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm really good, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. We're back after a week off.
A nice week's break.
Yeah, nice week's break. We went like 9 weeks straight, 10 weeks on the other podcast. So, yeah, we needed a little break, come back fresh. Obviously, it's kind of worked out actually because this episode originally was meant to be a Frightfest preview
Yes,
episode.
yeah.
Then Frightfest got delayed again because of COVID and the physical edition is not happening, so now they're doing a big digital event, which we are going to get into. But off the top, let's talk about Ratched.
Oh man, I've I've watched it now, and it's just fantastic. I just can't rate it enough. I think it's brilliant. I really, I'm aware that I sound like I'm gushing over it, but I can't fault it. There was nothing about it that I didn't like, or I can't criticize it. I thought it was fantastic. Have
Yeah,
you got
I'm with
Have you
you.
got anything negative to add at all?
No, not really. I mean, it's not negative. The only thing I would say is this is very much a Ryan Murphy TV show. Like this is very much in the vein of American Horror Story.
It is, yeah.
It
Yeah.
did kind of throw me at first how not like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest this is. Like this is a complete retelling of that character.
I mean, I suppose because she is the same character,
Yeah.
and if we are to assume that she exists in the same world, we know it's been commissioned for at least one more series.
Yes.
So I think, we've got to kind of see something happen if they are going to join up the worlds that shows her becoming more sadistic. Because she's not necessarily that way, is she?
No, she's not. And I don't think they're going to do that. I think what they're going to do...
You think they'll keep it separate?
I think they're going to remake it.
As a completely new...
Well, within this TV show.
That's interesting.
I reckon that if we get to a season 3, I reckon they might do 3. We know there's a second season coming. From what I understand, like you said, Netflix have commissioned a second season. The ending of this definitely leaves it open for a second season. I think if they get to a season 3, maybe a season 4, I reckon it will be an extended version of what the film is.
Well, how about this? If it continues to be the success that it is, I believe One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest is based on a book, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it too far-fetched to believe they could end it all with a remake of the film from Nurse Ratched's perspective?
Not at all. I wouldn't be surprised if this is where it goes. I think that even the people that weren't too fond of this TV show were all in love with Sarah Paulson. I haven't seen anyone say, and the only bad stuff I've seen around it are people that say it's too much like American Horror Story, it's too Ryan Murphy. But I don't know, if you've watched anything else Ryan Murphy does outside of American Horror Story, that's just his style. That's just what he produces.
It's always going to have, whoever you are,
yeah,
whatever you do creatively, there's always something that's your stamp, isn't it? You can't help it. That's you.
Exactly.
And you either like it or you don't.
Exactly. But in terms of Sarah Paulson, I don't think anyone's complaining, man. I mean, she's incredible, right? Like, she is just outstanding.
She's absolutely incredible. I have to say, though, because I introduced my cousin to this, she hadn't seen it, and I introduced her to it. She said, "Oh, I've watched one episode. It's brilliant." She actually watched it all before me.
Oh, really? Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, she just completely binged it, and obviously I don't want to give things away, but she just kept saying to me, "Wait till you see the green socks. Just wait for the green socks."
Right. Yeah.
And I just think that the use of color in it, I know we've talked about it before, is incredible. The color, the shots, but even like the most minor characters are so well developed. I mean, forgive me, I can't remember his name, but the actor who plays Jeffrey in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air turns up. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's just every single character is great.
The casting of this is incredible, and I know the first time we touched on this, I said this, but I'm gonna go through it again, man. I mean, obviously Sarah Paulson leading the line, right? But then you've got Finn Wittrock in there as the killer. I'm not going to spoil it just in case people haven't seen it, but the killer of the piece. You've got Judy Davis in there as Nurse Bucket, who is outstanding.
She's fantastic.
Cynthia Nixon turns up. You've got
Cynthia Nixon, is she the one from Sex and the City?
Yes, she's the one from Sex and the City that plays
Gwendolyn.
Yes, that's it. Sharon Stone, obviously.
Do you know what? I mean, she doesn't look like she's aged a day.
No, she doesn't. She does. I don't know if that's plastic
I
surgery or if
I
I
had
don't
to
know
look up.
if
I
that's
had to
changed,
look
but
up her
it's
age, and I thought I'd misread it.
yeah. No, I know. It just looks fantastic. And then for me, if I'm honest, the standout for me in the whole thing, and I
Is
said
this
this
is
the
you,
first time.
you having this as a caveat to obviously Sarah Paulson?
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Can I interject and try and predict,
Yeah,
because
of course.
I didn't see it at first, and I think I remember who you said for you, but for
Go on.
me, the woman who runs the motel,
Yes, Amanda
she's
Plummer. Oh my god,
amazing. I
Amanda
loved.
is. Oh, she's so good. Do you recognize her?
No, I recognise her. I don't know what from. I kept looking at her, thinking I know her.
Pulp Fiction.
Yes. Oh,
The
Honey
opening.
Bunny.
Yeah, Honey
Yeah.
Bunny. Yeah, Honey Bunny. Yeah,
Oh my. Yeah.
yeah.
I knew. I knew her.
It's that style, isn't it? She's
Yeah.
got the same style in Pulp Fiction. Just that
Oh
really
wow.
erratic, energetic. Man, she's so good. Amanda Plummer is
Really.
so good. Honestly, every scene she's in, she just steals for me. She's so good. And going on the ending, she's going to be in season 2. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm
I
happy with that.
was completely. Obviously, we obviously won't give the ending away, but I was not prepared for the ending, but I loved it.
No, I
Absolutely
wasn't prepared.
fantastic.
No, I wasn't prepared for where it was going.
Someone once said to me that a fiction writer, he said to me that the ending of a book, and you can apply it to any kind of creative media, it should surprise you, but when you see it, you can see how it couldn't really have been any other way. And I feel
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like that about this, like a
Yeah.
complete surprise to me, but now it's happened. I think, yeah, it's fantastic. It
Could
should have
only have
always
gone
been.
that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I genuinely really enjoyed it. I think if you're an American Horror Story fan, if you're a Ryan Murphy fan, yeah, I think you're going to rate this up.
There's one shot in the whole thing that I really stays with me. I mean,
Okay, go on.
there's a few that they seem to change. They drench the whole scene in color to convey a mood, be it red or green and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like the lights just go that color. But there's a scene when Gwendolyn is recuperating in hospital, and Nurse Ratched looks through the window, and because the window is slightly off center, it's an oval. And the way they've framed her head and her hair, she looks like one of those old cameo brooches. The ones from like Victorian Elizabethan times, where it's like a white porcelain
Oh
head,
yes,
brown,
yeah.
and they just lingered on that, and it just was so framed perfectly. It just struck out at me that that's what it looked like. And I think there's so many shots like that throughout it, like the long shots on the corridors. It's just brilliant, really, really brilliant.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't, really
outstanding,
can't
man.
wait for more of it.
No, I can't. I'm really looking forward to it. It's definitely one of the standout TV shows for me. I mean, it's a weird thing to say because of the subject matter, but it was just fun as well.
It was fun, yeah.
It was a fun world to live in for a little bit.
I mean, the thing is, Scott, there was things in it that obviously are not nice, but there was nothing about it I didn't find enjoyable. It's done,
Yeah,
and maybe that's the success of American Horror Story itself. Even when some things are quite disturbing in there occasionally, and yet it's
yeah.
always still enjoyable. If Nurse Ratched was an American Horror Story series, I would say it was the strongest one they've ever done. It's that good. I mean, I love American Horror Story, but to me, this is superior to that. I
I
think
agree.
this.
And do you know what this could have been if you take away the name Nurse Ratched and you
Yes.
just gave her this could easily have been a season of American Horror
Yeah,
Story. It
completely.
really could have. And it, like you said, would have worked, man.
It would have worked completely. But I can't recommend it highly enough. I think everyone's got to see it and make up their own mind. But I mean, you said that you've seen some people criticizing it. I mean, I can't imagine what for, really. I
I
can't
think
see
they're just not
like it.
American Horror Story fans, and that like Ryan Murphy's style is it's very Hollywood. It's very polished.
There's a sheen on it all the
There
time,
you
isn't
go.
there?
There's a sheen on everything. It's very, yeah, polished. That's the only word I can think of. It's
Mm.
really Hollywood in a way. It's those bright colors. It's the big bold acting, the big bold actors, the snappy dialogue. Which again, I think the dialogue in this is absolutely incredible. So yeah,
You've
man. I like for me. I like American Horror Story. You like American Horror Story. We can't fault it. If you like American Horror Story, I think you're gonna love this. And I
you
know
love,
that a
you love
few
it. You love it.
yeah, I know that a few of our listeners out there are American Horror Story fans. So, yeah, if you haven't watched it, Go and do it. Let us know what you think. And you know what? If you didn't like it, also let us know why. I think that would be interesting because
Yeah,
obviously we're
yeah.
both gushing over this, and that that's a certain way a discussion can go. But sometimes discussions based around why someone did like it and someone didn't like it can be quite interesting also. So yeah, if you didn't like it and you've got a critical way of putting that, yeah, please let us know, and yeah, maybe we'll bring that up on the next podcast.
Well, before
Definitely.
we get on to the next topic,
Yes, sir.
could we briefly have just a quick mid-series stock take of Lovecraft Country?
Oh yes.
Because obviously we both loved
Yeah.
Ratchet. I wonder if we're going to agree here because at the halfway point, I'm quite disappointed.
I've kind of fallen away from it a little bit.
Because of how you feel about it, or just one of those things?
A bit of both. I feel like the setup of it, and maybe this is my fault, but I thought the setup of it would be a little bit different,
Mm,
where there'd be much more of a through line between the
yes.
whole thing, but
Yeah.
each episode kind of exists on its own in a way. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, there is a through line, but I don't understand it.
Based on a book, right? And
It
from what I
is.
understand, that's the setup of the book. Like each chapter is something quite different, and then there is a through line that's meant to connect all chapters. I don't
Yes.
know. I'm just not.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know.
I when it started, I thought this is fantastic, and we both had this conversation. We were so excited
Yeah,
about it.
we were.
We both agreed as well at the time that it could have worked even without the monsters because the story and the characters were that engaging. But hey, it's based on Lovecraft's work, so throw the monsters in, and that's fine. And I'd obviously reserve full judgment until the whole thing has been seen. But at this point, I can't help but feel that it's lost
How
its way.
many? I don't think I'm fully up to date. How many episodes are you in?
I am. I've just watched the one after the one set in Korea,
Right. Okay.
so I'm
Okay.
up to date, I think.
Right. Yeah, I
And
think you are. Yeah, I don't think I'm that far. I'm that far ahead yet. But like for me, I seem to be in and out on episodes. Like episode one, really liked.
but this is the
Again,
thing.
like we said, we could have done with monsters. Episode two, I was like, oh, I don't know. Then episode three, really loved. Like episode three, I was like, right, I'm back in this.
Was that the one with the haunted house?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. Well, I
That
just
one.
thought the whole idea of the racial divisions,
Yeah.
which I thought are the most interesting part of that story and of those characters, and
Yes.
that really comes to a head in episode three because they're moving into quite a white neighborhood, and I thought that was just really interesting, and I thought it allowed the characters to be front and center, where I feel like in episode two and some of the other episodes, they've kind of really taken a step back to kind of like the visual effects and stuff. And also, I think maybe that's why I've fallen out of it a little bit because I feel like they overuse visual effects
Yeah,
and I
it's
just
just
don't think they're needed.
it's constant visual effects, and it seems to me as well to be sometimes weird for the sake of it. I mean, I'm sure until we fully understand the storyline, it's a bit difficult. But I think
See,
there's
I wonder if it would be more enjoyable. We always have the debate of should you binge or should you do it week to week? I wonder if something like this, where there isn't a clear through line, would actually be much better binged
well, it's fun.
because
It's funny you say that because I was just thinking to myself, it's not engaging me enough to go scrambling looking for it
no,
each episode,
no,
and because it's released each week,
right,
and I realise how critical I'm being here because I'm the one who was championing one a week. I find it difficult because I forget it's on.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas if it was in my face on Netflix every time I logged in, I'd go, "Oh, I've got that to watch."
right. I've got
But
that to watch. Yeah,
I just forget it's there.
I agree. I agree. I think,
But we'll still give
yeah.
it a chance. We got to
Oh,
see the whole thing.
we see it till the end. We'll
I
see
wanted
it
to
till the
find
end.
out your
Yeah,
take at this point
yeah,
because at this point my view has changed.
yeah, yeah. We'll see it till the end, man. Also, before we jump onto our next segment, which is our Frightfest preview, I've just got to touch on it. Before we started recording, I put a tweet out about this. There's a new documentary on Netflix called American Murder, The
All
Family
right,
Next Door. Man, like just like watch
you've
it.
seen it.
Yeah, I watched it last night, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. I like dreamt about it.
True
Yeah,
crime.
yeah. It's I mean, you'll see the tweet I put out. It's scarier than any horror film you will ever watch.
Okay, I'll put that on tonight.
And that's all I'm going to say about it. Like, yeah, so I just wanted to bring it up, you know, for you guys and girls out there listening, you like a bit of true crime, you got to watch this. It's just so, I don't know, man. We'll bring it up on the next one. Like, go and watch it.
I'll watch it, and then maybe we can discuss it next week.
Hell yeah, we
Awesome.
have to, absolutely have to. Yeah. All right, man. So let's jump on to the Frightfest preview. So as I touched on at the top of the show, physical edition, in our opinion, was always up in the air. I know a lot of people were kind of hoping there would be a virtual one because obviously with local lockdowns and people not feeling too safe traveling into London, I was hoping there was going to be a virtual one. From my understanding, even if there was a physical one, there was going to be a virtual version as well. Yeah. You know, and also hats off to
something we champion, so obviously listening to us.
Of course, yeah. And you know, on that note, hats off to the festival directors for trying to put on a physical event. But you know, because for a lot of people, that is very important. From a filmmaker's point of view, having your film on the big screen, but you know, but also the festival experience, and you know, for some people, that's what they look forward to all year long. And you know, we always champion mental health and stuff, and sometimes going to the cinema and being around like-minded people, that can do wonders for your mental health. I know it does for me, to be fair. So credit to them trying to put this on, but also credit to them for realizing that Frightfest is way too big of a beast.
I think it's good that they've been able to be so flexible so quickly to change their plans.
Yes. Oh, they've been amazing. Really good. They've been amazing. I think, you know, I've been watching a lot of festivals and what they've been doing, and I think there's a couple out there that are really, really leading the way with how to put on virtual events. And yeah, I think Frightfest are, you know, out and out for me the top at the minute. They're the way they just, like you said, pivot so quickly into, okay, we can't do this, we're going to do a digital one, but we're going to do an even bigger digital one. Yeah, amazing. And they've announced the lineup now. Incredible lineup. It goes.
I was going to say, I've got to say that I think you hit the nail on the head, because before this lineup come out, and when we thought it was going to be a physical event, and we was discussing it, and you said to me you just had a feeling that they were holding back, and that the October festival was just going to have a bigger bang of films.
Yeah.
And looking through this list, I think you're absolutely right. I think this list, to me, it's a more exciting lineup than the main Frightfest.
Hell yeah. This is, compared to the August one, the August digital edition, this is the lineup. This was, if there was a physical event in August, this is it.
They were holding it here, weren't they? Yeah.
In my opinion, yeah, this is it, man. This is incredible.
I really struggled to pick just one film a day. I mean, I really tried to, because I thought it'd be nice, just, you know, one pick a day.
Yeah.
A couple of days, I'm going to have to nip in with more than one, though.
Oh, man, I agree. Well, let's do it. Let's kick off. What are you picking?
So, straight away, opens on a Wednesday, doesn't it?
It does.
And I've gone for The Sinners.
Yes, okay.
The reason being is I just love this idea of you've got this group of students call themselves the 7 Deadly Sins, and they're suddenly being hunted based on these sins and what they've done as well. And I find I was trying to pick things that to me sound like they're kind of moving away from something I've seen before. You look through the list of any festival, and many horror films kind of just go through the same things.
Of course.
And this for me just stood out as something just a little bit different from, you know, a normal kind of horror film.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like for that Wednesday, for the day it all kicks off, this is my pick as well.
Yeah, so, just
bang on.
I mean, there is a line when you read the description. It says, "Suddenly the fun and games and sexy attic rituals." I mean, that might have swung it for me. I don't know. We can't know yet, but I think this one looks good.
Yeah, it does, man. This is definitely my pick for Wednesday as well. So moving on to the Thursday, October 22nd, I have picked a remake of a classic horror film called The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
I knew you were going to pick that.
Yeah, of course you did. Of course you
did. So why have you picked that one?
So I'm a fan of the original that come out the early 60s. It's one I do want to bring up on the Classic Horror Podcast and introduce Michael to. yeah, I'm a fan of that. It's a cult B movie, really cheap, really fun. And I was kind of shocked that they done a remake of it because I thought, well, that's a strange classic horror film to remake. But yeah, it sounds like a bunch of fun from the description. It's a European premiere and it's made by two film fans. So, you know that this is a pure love letter. Apparently a
They'll do it
note for note.
justice.
Yes, it's a note for note, pitch perfect recreation of The Brain That Wouldn't Die from 1962. So yeah, man, like that just sounds incredible to me. And then when you read a little bit further, this one is in full color. The original was in black and white. And they're actually adding a little bit to this. So the description points out that this new version does take into account the forward thinking social issues of today, gender inequality, to sexual repression, and gives a fresh coat of silly camp paint. What more do you need? What more do you
Yeah,
need? That sounds
yeah.
great. Yeah, it sounds like a
It
really
sounds
fun
brilliant.
remake. Yeah, but with a modern twist, which I'm all for. Because if you're going to remake it, put a little something new on it. Yeah,
So
very
I've
nice.
actually gone for The Banishing,
Nice. Okay.
which is all about Bolly Rectory, which
Yes.
is
There's been
allegedly
a
the most
few
haunted
films,
outbreak.
haven't there?
There
With
has.
Bryce.
I mean, I find it interesting, as because it's in our neck of the woods,
Yes, it
and
is.
Bolly Rectory in Essex, Essex, Suffolk border. Don't believe it's there, and I think it burned down, didn't it? But
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
and I think I've never seen a kind of more up to date version of Borley Rectory, and I'm quite interested to see they seem to put a lot from the description anyway on Harry Price, the occult investigator.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's a from the paranormal perspective, it's a story and a history that I'm interested in. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do with this.
Yeah, man. I'm very interested in this. It's by a director called Chris Smith who made loads of great English films, and they've all,
Mm.
from what I understand, premiered at Frightfest. So, yeah, a nice through line there with all of his work. But yeah, this is definitely one to watch out. And actually, the nice thing about the films that we've picked is they don't clash. So, The Brain That Wouldn't Die is on at 6:30 p.m. on a Thursday, and The Banishing is on at 9:15. So you can watch both, which is great.
This is where it starts to get difficult. There's the
Right.
list of films is getting bigger, isn't it?
Oh
So
man, Friday is like packed. Like that is a stacked lineup from what is it, 1 p.m. until about 10 at night?
yeah, and I think the days get longer. I think Saturday's like 10 or 11 in the morning.
Yeah,
I think
crazy.
there's a lot of content on. So I've gone on Friday for the Pale Door.
So have I.
Interesting.
Yeah, how funny. Yeah, that's my pick. That's my one pick for Friday.
I actually heard about this because I started seeing clips and stills and things on social media, and I just thought I've got to see this, and it was a surprise when I saw it come up for Frightfest. I knew straight away, whatever day it was, I've got to see it, and that was just based on the pictures. And once I saw what it's about, a western with a kind of folk horror vibe, a coven of witches, it sounded a little bit like it could have a From Dusk Till Dawn feel.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah, it could. I see that.
Why was it your pick?
So this is a film I heard about a little while ago. I could be completely wrong here, but I thought it was going on Shudder at some point. Maybe it still is. I don't know. But that's
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah,
can't remember where in the context of what I saw it advertised, but it wasn't Fright Fest.
yeah, exactly. Like I said, I thought it was going on Shudder.
Yeah, I think you
Might
might
not
be
have been,
right. I think you might be right on that.
but yeah, I like you. I looked into it. It sounds amazing. It's about a cowboy gang that come across the coven of bloodthirsty witches. Complete mix up of horror, the
Yeah.
western. You know, I love both. I'm a huge western fan. I'm
Mm.
obviously a huge horror fan. So yeah, for me, yeah, just give me all of this, and hopefully it's good and lives up to the hype. But yeah, it looks outstanding. The screenshots I've seen from it so far are amazing. Is there a trailer out?
I'm sure I've seen little snippets of it. I'm sure I have.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I have. I'm gonna have to dig
It
out,
was it was a
see
few
if there's a
weeks ago. It
trailer.
might even be about a month ago. I just started seeing The Pale Door.
I feel like this
And
has been around for a while.
yeah.
Like, I feel like this has been one of those that was maybe meant to debut early in the year, but obviously it's got pushed back like a lot of other stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, let's see. But interesting that we picked the same one for Friday. But yeah, this is a good one on a 3:30 p.m. The Powder. So very much looking forward to this one. I think that is definitely going to be a bit of a standout. Is there anything else from Friday that you?
Not so stand out. I mean, there's lots of films I'm interested in,
Yes,
but that is the one that I
but the
think
Powder was the one.
I
Yeah,
want to see that. Yeah.
yeah, same. All right, so moving on to Saturday, October
Gets
24th.
gets tough for me now. It's more than one from me now, I'm afraid.
Right, okay. I've got two
Yep.
from Saturday. The first one is the thing that kicks off the whole day, which is Short Film Showcase 1. Unfortunately, unlike the previous event, the Short Film Showcases will only be screening once. It's,
No.
yeah, it's time locked now, so
No.
Saturday at 11:30 a.m., which pretty early for a Saturday.
Do you know what? I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think that's a mistake.
I do. I
I
agree. I
I
agree.
so I haven't included those in my picks. I just assumed I could watch them any
Yeah,
time again.
no, they've changed it on this one, and I agree. I
Ah,
think it's a bit of a mistake, purely because the way I watched the short films the last time around, like I would fit a couple of short films in between the features.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
And there
so
was even a couple I watched more than once because I enjoyed them so much.
right, because you had
Yeah,
the time. Yeah, yeah. We touched on it on our review episode, man.
that's a shame. It's
Unfortunately,
a shame.
yeah, yeah. But that's my first pick out of the gate. Really, really good lineup. And then my second film is like right at the other end of Saturday. It's 9:30 p.m. and it's a film called Relic.
Yep, I got that one.
Yeah, well, go on
That's
then.
one
Do you
well
want
as well.
to intro that one?
A bit of a twist on a haunted house.
Yes.
An elderly lady vanishes. People in the home are looking for her, and then I find this quite an interesting spin. She comes back again, sort of later on in the film, and they're not quite sure if something has come back with her. I just thought it sounded just a fresh take on a haunted house. I thought it sounded really good. A little bit like I like those kind of films as well that kind of play around a little bit with mental illness and the deterioration of your functions, that kind of thing. What was the one where the elderly lady's sort of jaw unhinges
I
and
knew
she
you said
suddenly
that. The Taking of Deborah Logan.
yeah, yeah. So
That was
things
good,
like
man.
that,
That was
and
really good. It does remind me of that, the synopsis.
the
So
visit
good.
as well, that kind of thing. Just
Yeah, the visit was good.
yeah, I like those kind of films now. And this for me was screamed that, but in a different way, and looking at a haunted house a different way. So yeah, I was all over this one.
Yeah,
Uh,
completely agree, man. Stood out to me for all those reasons, but also this has played a few places and based on early reviews, is considered one of the horror films of the year.
yeah, yeah.
So for
It,
me, when this popped up on the Frightfest lineup, this was an absolute must. Like this is the type of film I would recommend if you're not gonna do a lot of films at Frightfest, like you're only gonna get one or two single films, maybe, like to kind of recreate a bit of a cinema vibe at home. This is the one. This is one of them. I've got two I would recommend. This is the next one.
what's that time? That's later in the day, isn't
Yeah,
it?
this is like 9:30 p.m.
Good.
So
So
perfect,
my next
perfect
pick
time
for
for a
that
horror
day,
film.
it doesn't clash with it. We're going back to 11:45,
Oh
um,
Jesus,
and it's film called The World We Knew.
yes.
Gangsters versus ghosts in a neo film noir. Uh, Sounds great to me. So you've got this group of gangsters who have done a heist. They take refuge in an abandoned house, and over the course of the night, you kind of they're so-called haunted, but you don't really know. Is it a haunted house? Is it their sins coming back to haunt them? Is it in their own
Yeah,
mind?
yeah,
I thought that sounded really cool. I've got to stress it was the Relic was my absolute top one.
yes.
And the other one that I picked, I'm just checking the time. Please, please, please don't clash with anything. 4:15 is Blood Harvest,
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
it's folk horror, and I just can't. I can't say no to a good folk horror. Um, you
No, I
know,
agree. I agree.
occult witchcraft. It's set in the 1700s, I believe.
This is definitely one I'm going to be checking out without a doubt. Without a
Yeah,
doubt.
it sounds really good.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. It sounds a little bit like The Witch, but from a reverse perspective almost. You've got this mother and daughter are occult practitioners, and it's the local village that are suspicious of them.
Yeah. Well, really oddly, one of the things that really interests me about this is I've teased a little bit that I want to make a witch film, but I'm always I want to be very careful that kind of ideas I'm working on haven't been done, or like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's very
you're not.
important.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're kind of coming up with a different spin on it. So, yeah. So this is very interesting to me from a point of, okay, is this going to lean heavily into what I'm thinking about doing, and then that will kind of shape where I go with mine. But I'm very, very interested in this. It's from Canada
Yes,
as
it is.
well, so
Yeah.
it's really good. And also, one of the things I want to touch on is a lot of the films we're picking out are around a solid 90 minutes. So I
Yes.
really
Yeah.
like that. I really like a solid 90-minute horror
A
film,
proper full length film.
Yeah, a good edit, not too long, not too short, just a solid 90-minute film.
Right. So last day, Friday. What have you got?
My top pick of the last day, but my top pick of the entire
Is
festival.
this is this? Sorry, have you just got one
I've just
film?
I've just picked that one. I've just
Uh,
picked that one. There are others. There are others.
short film showcase
Oh,
to
of
one
course.
side for the moment.
Yes, yeah. Obviously, short film showcase 2. That's on there. That's a given. But my big pick for the final day, my big pick for the entire festival, is a film called Lucky. Now, this is for 2 reasons. It's by a director who made a film called Imitation Girl, which played Frightfest a few years ago. And that was my favourite film of that year at Frightfest. This is her follow up. It is also scripted and stars Brie Grant, who is in a couple of films at Frightfest this year. She's in Lucky.
Yep.
She's also in a film called The Stylist. She was in a film called After Midnight. My God, what a great film. Yeah, man, this is great. It's a play on the home invasion film, but with a very modern, very social aware take. Very much looking forward to this. I think Brie Grant is an absolute superstar. Can't wait to see what this team do with their second film. Yeah, for me,
What time does
Lucky.
it run?
This is on at 5:30 p.m. on a Sunday. So, yeah, in the afternoon. What you
See,
got?
do you know it clashes? It clashes with something that I wanted to see.
Oh no! What does it
Yes.
clash with?
Caveat.
Yeah, I knew it. I
Did you
know that
did you see that one?
I did. It's one of the. That's one of the bad clashes.
Did you say that the film you've picked is from the people who did 12 Hour Shift?
Yes, yeah, it's
Yeah.
from those as
So
well. Yeah.
that's part of the reason why I
Well,
almost
Brie
went for
Grant.
that
Yeah,
one, because I knew, because you recommended that to me so highly last time, and I
yeah,
didn't see it. That's a film that I regret not seeing.
yeah,
So then I knew I've got this opportunity to see another film.
yeah. So like, Brie Grant has just killed it this year. Like, absolutely killed it. She, like I said, she's got 2 films at this edition of Fright Fest: The Stylist and Lucky. Lucky, she is the lead in, and she wrote 12-Hour Shift. She doesn't star in that, but she wrote and directed that one. So like, killer year, absolutely killer year. And then she was in another film at the beginning of the year called After Midnight, which is one of my favorite films of it. One of my favorite films of the year, by a guy that a lot of people within the horror community will know, called Jeremy Gardner. He also stars in it with her. Yeah, absolutely outstanding film. Like, I loved it. She's just killing it, man. Like, just in terms of this year, man. Like, she's having.
It's a shame for me it clashes with this one because I really want to see Caveat as well. I'll
Caveat
have
looks incredible.
I'm gonna have to make a tough decision because
It
I
is a
just
tough decision.
when I look at Caveat, so you've got this guy, lone drifter, um, accepts a job from his old landlord looking after his psychologically troubled niece in an abandoned house on an isolated island. So a run-of-the-mill job, you might get somewhere. And what I found interesting in this is he's convinced while looking after her in this house not to leave the house, and he's confined to the house by this sort of harness contraption that keeps him inside. I just find that I can't get my mind around that at the moment, and I find that really intriguing as to what that would look like and why the bloody hell they've insisted he's in this thing, and why has he agreed to it as well?
Yeah.
It sounds really good. I'm probably going to go with this one, partly because you're going for the other one, and then we can talk about them both.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, here's what I will say. I'm going to go with Lucky just because I'm really enjoying everything Brie Grant's doing in a minute. I also am a big fan of the director and her previous film. As I said, that was my favourite film at a previous edition of Frightfest. However, I feel there's a very, very strong possibility Lucky gets a very decent release after Frightfest. Caveat, could be one of those films that this is your best opportunity to see it. So
yeah, that's
maybe
true.
on
Yeah.
that basis, Caveat's the pick. Possibly. It's tough, man. Like, this is, for me, this is the worst clash of the weekend. You always get bad clashes at film festivals. You
Yeah.
always get bad clashes, but
It's funny. It's the only clash we've come up with, isn't it?
it is.
Interestingly,
Yeah,
out of all the
I
days,
know.
you
But
know,
yeah, this is
a couple
the
of
one.
picks the same. The other one I picked, which everyone can watch if they want to go with our picks, is 12 o'clock on the Sunday from Argentina, The Funeral Home.
Yeah, it looks good, this one.
Again, I thought this sounds great. I mean, it doesn't give a great deal away, but it's very clear that it's a new take on haunted house and possession films. The fact it's a foreign film as well gives it extra points of interest for me, because obviously all the other films we've picked are English or American. I think there was an Australian one as well, but a
Canadian one
non-English
in there as
language.
well, I
Yeah,
think.
it's Canadian. Yeah.
All English language, yeah.
So yeah, I thought this one looks really good. You know, the family live, actually says the family live out the back amongst the coffins, which I thought was quite interesting. It doesn't sound like the best setup. And then the funeral parlors out the front. It sounds like one of those films again where not necessarily it's not the ghosts that are haunting them. So yeah, this is one that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, man. And I think in closing, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to another film that I'm going to watch. It's on at 2:30 p.m. on a Sunday. It's called Slacks. Canadian film. This is UK premiere, and it's about killer jeans. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I can't really do it better than that. Yeah. Yeah, I think all in all, man, incredible lineup.
It's packed, isn't it?
It's
Absolutely packed.
Absolute stack, top to bottom, and there are tons of films that we haven't touched on. So yeah, I think
short film showcase 2 is that the morning as well.
no, that's quite late. That's
Really? So
7:45 p.m. Yeah, on a Sunday. So that kind of ends.
Does that clash with anything?
It clashes with Skyline 3. Do you know the Skyline films? They're like sci-fi films. Yeah, so it's like the
Lucky might clash. How long's Lucky?
No, Lucky should be all right. That's 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30.
And then what is it? 80 minutes.
Oh, so, that's fine. 7:45.
7:45, basically out of Lucky, straight into short film showcase 2. So, and then like weirdly ending the festival, for me anyway, ending the festival on short film showcase, which is quite nice.
Yeah, me too. That's probably what I'd end on.
Well, it's quite nice because it kind of puts the spotlight on the short film filmmakers.
Yeah, I don't want to criticize too much, but I just wish that the short film could be a kind of watch any time over the 3 days once you purchase it.
I do. Yeah, I wonder based on like viewership what the difference will be.
What's happened last time to make them, even consider doing this? I don't know. Maybe they didn't get many people looking at them. Who knows?
I wonder if that's it. Yeah, I wonder if that's it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure really. But yeah, man, great lineup. Brilliant. Hats off to everyone at Frightfest. Outdone themselves, for a virtual edition as well. Wow, absolutely.
I mean, there's enough on here that I really, really want to see that I probably will go for the pass this time.
You going for the pass this time? Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the pass this time.
Even if you aside from the ones that we've said, these are the ones we really want to watch. There's more than enough other ones. I think, I'll dip into that. I'd like to see that.
I think just purely based on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
They're so packed. There's so much.
You're going to make your money Friday, Saturday, Sunday, without a doubt. If you got the time, go for the festival pass. Definitely. It's like £66. So
on Saturday, It starts at 11:30 in the morning, and it
Yeah,
ends. The last film starts at 10 o'clock at night.
mate, that's a proper Frightfest running time. That is.
And then
That is like a real
forgetting all the
festival.
forgetting all. There's hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 options on Saturday alone.
Crazy. Like you're making your money there.
Yeah,
You're making your money on Saturday. Yeah,
I
and
think
you know what? There's really good stuff. Like
it's
really
just
good
gonna be
stuff.
a case of locking myself away that weekend. I think. So
Oh, definitely.
just
Yeah,
Friday.
definitely.
Right, I'll see you Monday.
It's exactly it. Not doing. Yeah, not doing anything. Just staying in all weekend and watching these films without a doubt,
Cool.
man.
It's
Great
gonna
way
be
to
great.
spend like a weekend before Halloween, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah. Great way to spend that
definitely.
weekend. All right, dude. So let's close out the Fright Fest segment and come on to our favourite segment of the show. A lot of people's favourite segment of the show. Like I said, we were away for a week, Chris. We're back. You're back with another creepy link of the week. Go on, buddy.
Yes.
What is it
So,
this week?
well, I wanted to go for. So this is one that I found a good few weeks ago now, and I've been saving. I know you like a bit of stop motion. It's a stop motion animation, and it's the scene of the mysterious stranger from a children's film called The Adventures of Mark Twain. And as I say, I've seen this film, completely forgot about it until I saw this clip a few weeks ago, and it just sort of all the memories kick in. Before I explain it, what did you make of it?
I loved it. Like I loved it. I was captivated. Like it was one of those films. I put it on and you're just locked to the screen. I was
Mm.
locked to the animation or the claymation. I was mesmerized by the dialogue. I was mesmerized by the character. I thought the characters were great. I thought the animation in general was really good. The creation of Satan and the look of Satan was
Yeah.
outstanding. Like that's what took my breath away was the look of Satan. I haven't seen the children's film this is based on, so I don't know if that's playing on something within that film. But man, that yeah took my breath away.
So this film is called The Adventures of Mark Twain, and it's based on his books. So you've got the character of Mark Twain in the film, and he's got some kids with him. One is Tom Sawyer, one is Huckleberry Finn, and there's a girl as well. And she's joining them on this adventure. And he takes them around in his airship, and the film is made up of some of the characters from his stories. And then along the way, one of the characters that he introduces them to is the mysterious stranger, which transpires, I believe, to actually be Mark Twain himself. It's supposed to be the dark side of him. But in the film, it presents itself as an angel and Satan. And the two things that I wanted to pick up on, well, three things. Firstly, it reminds me very much of the animation from Return to Oz, when Dorothy is
Oh yes,
battling the
yeah,
Gnome King, and you've got though, and he starts to deteriorate because he eats an egg. But the two things that really struck me is number one is that is the most unique representation of Satan I've ever seen.
yes,
Whoever
yes,
come up with that, they need some sort of award. Just like
genius.
this sort of alien, when I say alien, I mean like alien royalty body, but then it's got the Harlequin mask on a stick for its face, which was incredible. The thing is, it's not outright scary. However, the thing that I find chilling about it is in the context of this is a film for children. The things Satan is saying are so deep and heavy.
Yeah,
It's incredible. He
yeah,
talks about how he first introduces himself as I'm an angel, my name's Satan, and then he talks about human beings and the pointlessness of life
yeah,
and how we're all just thought floating through space. It's so heavy. And he talks about how easy and quick and there's no consequence for him to just extinguishing humanity because he'll just make some more if he wants
yeah.
to.
Like,
And
it's
our
just
lives are
dark,
pointless.
unsettling.
Yeah.
It's great, man. I mean, the interpretation of Satan for me was a little bit different because I looked at it as he's using the Harley Quinn mask, which changes.
Grotesque at points, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, and the body is kind of just like a hollow suit. in a
Yes,
way.
yeah,
So the way I took it was the image of Satan is completely unimaginable. You actually have no idea what Satan looks like or this demon looks like. Your
interesting.
human eyes can't even comprehend it. So what you're seeing is he is creating a version of himself which you can comprehend. So he's using this human-esque suit, which is just a hollow shell, and then he's using this Harley Quinn mask, which again is just a shell. But then, based on what he's saying, the mask is constantly morphing
Yes,
into
it goes to a
what we,
skull at one point,
yeah,
doesn't it?
it goes to like Mark Twain at the start, right?
It does, yeah, it does.
Incredible. And then there's like the normal representation of the devil
Yeah.
is in there as well.
It's funny when
Incredible,
it
dude.
first introduces itself as Satan. That's the point where like the horns appear for the first time, and
Yes,
as it
yes,
progresses, it gets more and more. Especially when he looks down at its disdain at humanity, because it makes all these little lives and then wipes them out at his feet, and you can see looking at him with that disdain is when his face goes really horrible. And they're saying that the kids who have helped him make these figures saying to him, "What should we do now?" And he's just quite blasé, saying, "We could make a storm or an earthquake, but you'll have to stand back for safety." So it's almost as if he don't considers them the same as what we've created.
yeah. This it's one of those you can just dig into and like watch time and time again.
The rest of the film, there's nothing like this in the rest of the film. It's just that scene. The rest of the film is just a standard animation for kids.
Yeah, but still, wow.
It's funny because you can imagine, like, when it's presented to the film studio, did no one say, "You sure about this scene?
Yeah,
You want to
I
keep
know,
this in?"
I know. Oh, this would just make a great short in itself.
Mm,
It would
yeah.
just
Oh no,
if you could
definitely.
like bookend it. Yeah, it's incredible, man. It's really inspiring as well because, like you said, it's just such a unique representation of Satan, and then the dialogue is just outstanding.
Mm,
And like just from a filmmaking point of view, from a writing point of view, I found it very inspiring. Of okay, like I was saying about watching that witch film that is at
yep.
Frightfest, just to kind of make sure what I want to do doesn't really overlap and hasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's kind of been done before, but you need to come at it with a different approach. You need
Mm,
to take like a different path to get to kind of where everyone's going to land. And this is the same with this, right? Like this story has been told loads of times,
yeah. Yeah.
but the way in which they got there was completely different.
When they were planning this out, you can imagine. Yeah, we're going to have Satan. So what? Like pitchfork, red
Yeah,
beard.
yeah,
No, 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 no,
no,
no.
yeah,
You leave
exactly.
it to me.
Yeah, got to do something different, guys. And wow, do they do something different, right?
Oh, completely. And from a writing perspective as well, there was a couple of lines he has that I had to watch more than once because they really struck me when when he was talking about how pointless everything is, and
Yeah,
I think the line was, "We're just thoughts floating through space," and he says that as he himself disintegrates to nothing.
disintegrates. Yeah, yeah, that ending where everything you've just been watching folds in on
Mm,
itself. Wow,
mm.
wow, it's really powerful, man.
Do you know what? Actually, I tell a lie. I've got a feeling in the film, if memory serves, Mark Twain himself has got really despondent, and I think his comet is going to crash into the Earth, and he himself is saying there's no real point in doing anything about it, and he takes them to different people to show them the
Wow.
pointlessness of it, and obviously in the end he changes his mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But Satan's one of the ones who's basically backing that up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I mean,
incredible.
dig it out if you can find it. It's a good watch.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what? It's yeah. I've got to. It's yeah. It really got me, man. Really, really got me. Like I said, I was just mesmerized, start to finish, with that take.
Cool.
Yeah, it was outstanding. I think people are going to get a real kick out of that if they haven't seen it, without a doubt. Especially based on some of your other stuff. I mean, everyone seems to like what you throw up. So that one, yeah, dude, outdone yourself again.
Awesome.
Really, really outdone yourself again.
Brilliant. Glad you liked it.
All right, dude, it's good. It's been good, man. It's good getting back to it.
Yeah, it's
Week
been
off,
good.
but
Had a
I'm
lot
happy
to
we're
talk about.
back.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally. Yeah.
yeah. And then, yeah, next week we already know one topic: American Murder. Go and watch it.
Yes, and also, you know what's released during the week is the Blumhouse films.
It
Two of them
is.
are
It
released on
is.
Tuesday, I believe.
Got to watch them, right? Got to watch
Yes,
them and review them next week.
yes.
All right, dude. It's been fun, man. Until next week, Horror Hounds. Stay safe.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.